Hello, everyone. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about this condition called amblyopia. Here you'll see a comparison of two charts, the left eye versus the right eye, and this is how my vision has always been since I've been in the first grade. Actually, my entire life. That was when it was first diagnosed. On the left eye, the chart you could barely see anything but the very first one, the very first letter, which is an E, and below that it gets blurrier. I could never see the line below the second line. So my vision in the left eye was always 20 out of 200. The longer and the harder that I tried to focus the left eye to see what the second line was, the worse the vision got. I would begin to see spots and everything just blurred out completely to where I could no longer even see the E. And that is just the way it's been my entire life. I am 45 years old now. I'll be 46 in about a month and a half. On the right eye, I've always had 20/20 vision. I could read it just fine. There was never any issue with the right eye whatsoever. It was always the left eye. And because of this condition, I was not allowed to get certain jobs. I went to truck driving school a couple years back. It was the only place that was hiring. When it came to the vision test, I put my glasses on and I told them, of my condition, and they had me take the test anyway, and I failed. And they said that I could no longer continue with training, and I was asked to leave. This is what I have been told my entire life, that ever since I was a child, that it was too late at the first grade level. They said that this was supposed to have been caught during infancy when I was a toddler or whatever, and they said that what they would have had to have done was patch one of my eyes, my good eye, and just let the other one focus and have it strain itself and exercise and only focus using it, and then it would correct itself. At least it should have. Surgery wouldn't fix it. Glasses wouldn't fix it. Neither would, later on in my life, contact lenses, they wouldn't fix it either. I've even looked into LASIK, and they said that it's not going to work. It will not fix it either. So my entire life I was told I was stuck with this, and there was nothing I can do about it. Well, about 4.5 to maybe 5.5 months ago, I started noticing my right eye was starting to having problems with focusing. When I would look at a text on my phone, it'd be blurry, and I had to rub my eye and refocus it, and then I could read it. I noticed that that was happening more and more frequently, so I went online and I did research how I could save my vision because I only had, one good eye. My left eye was no good my entire life, so I started looking up eye exercises as well as vitamins I could take. I will put a link to the vitamins in the description below, along with a link to the eye exercises that I've been doing. And I noticed after a while that my peripheral on my left eye would start actually catching things that I could never see before. And I would quickly turn because I noticed something, because my vision was actually improving in my left eye. I didn't think much of it. I just figured, oh well, okay, well that's good. Maybe my eye is not getting any worse over there. After a few months, I started to notice that my the problem with my right eye actually it went away. I wasn't having problems focusing anymore, which made me happy. It was a few weeks ago actually. I can't remember how I came about this. I was rubbing my right eye while I was watching television. I think I was watching Mike and Molly, and Molly was in class teaching. This was an old episode, of course, a rerun from the first season, I believe. and there was writing on the chalkboard. But as I was rubbing my right eye, I could see I could see her. Before I could never actually see a person. All I could see is like a figure. I couldn't distinguish eyes, nose, mouth. I could see just the basic shape with only my left eye, and then that would blur out. Because I would get all spots and everything would become so fuzzy that I couldn't see anything anymore, and I would get lightheaded and dizzy. And so I stopped trying to have my left eye work. I stopped trying to exercise it. I just figured it was a lost cause. Well, I was rubbing my right eye, and I could actually see her. I could see her eyes, I could see her mouth as she was talking. I could distinguish her nose. It was blurry, a little bit blurry. Well, actually, no, not a little bit. It was semi-blurry, but it wasn't a dark, fuzzy shape like it's always been. And so I covered my right eye, kept it completely covered, and used only my left eye. And I just kept watching. And then when she was in front of the chalkboard, there was writing on there. I could actually read letters. And I couldn't believe it because I've never even been able to see letters that small before. Of course, I couldn't read it correctly. Like a C would look like an O, an capital E would look like a B. It would, how they would somewhat start to blend together. It wasn't perfect, but it was 10 times better than I've ever had. And so I kept my right eye closed, and I just walked around to see what I could see. And I cannot believe the improvement there was. I could see books. I could see the letters on the books. Before, I couldn't even see there were letters, but I could actually distinguish what the letters were, even if they were like light-colored letters on a light-colored book. I would never even know there were letters there. But now I can. And my vision is improving constantly. The vitamins that I'm taking, that I was taking for the vision was one part of it, but the other part was the part of the brain that wasn't working with my eye, which with more research, I found out that's what was going on. I believed that I was maybe a candidate for Alzheimer's. My memory was really bad. I couldn't remember anything at all, and I would constantly keep blanking. If I was in the middle talking, all of a sudden I couldn't remember what I was trying to say, and it was, progressing. I went to the doctor. The doctor did a lot of tests on me and said, no, there's no sign of any Alzheimer's, and she said that it could be caused by something else. Maybe stress was one of the things, which I was pretty stressed out, and there were just several things that she had done and that she had recommended that it could be. But I found this book, which I'll put a link in the description, and it's right here. I'm going to put a little bit about it right here. And I was reading this book about Alzheimer's, and actually it has a lot of neurological disorders in it, but I was more focused on the Alzheimer's section. So I read through the description of the Alzheimer's, that whole section on it, and I started taking the vitamins, which I'll list in here as well, the supplements, I should say, and that helped my memory. It improved drastically. It was like when I was younger, I used to have such a sharp memory. I could recall pretty much anything. It was, I thought it was normal, but now that it's actually faded, well, I realized, oh, well, I didn't realize how good I had it. But now I'm starting to revert back to that because of the supplements I'm taking, which I've listed in here along with the vitamins that I have taken for the eye. That was the others two that I was taking, the ALA and the ALC. I was taken for something completely different. This was just a happy accident or happy coincidence that it started to fix my amblyopia. So I figure I would make this video, share it with you, and hopefully it will help you too. Please read through the rest of the video. I put a lot of description in it, as well as more info on all the supplements that I'm taking, and the links below in the description, so that you can find out more about everything that I've been doing that has worked for me. I'm hoping that in probably another 4 or 5 months that my left eye will be up to par with my right eye, and I'll be able to see 20/20 out of both. And if that happens, well, guess I'll be going back to trucking school so I can pass that test. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and put on a little happy music for you while you finish out the rest of the video and read up on a lot of my experience.